Hey, what is up guys? Epic Pokemon TCG here, and today guys, I have a pretty cool video for you. I just decided to go ahead and show you guys my favorite deck to have fun with in the Pokemon TCG right now. The latest set is Evolutions, and as soon as I play with some more Evolution cards, this might change. But for the most part, I absolutely love playing this deck, and it's going to be a superior deck. Now, it really isn't going to be all about the list because I'm still tweaking the list and still trying to find the exact way that I really like to have fun. But this is just a really fun deck because of all the different things you can do with it, and just the fact that Superior can hit for a lot of damage. You have Disruption, and it's just all around pretty fast actually. So Superior, of course, is a stage 2, but it does benefit from the Forest of Giant Plants field spell.
You suck!
Field spell. Jesus, did I just say that? Stadium card. I just said freaking field spell. Woo, sheesh, it's been a long day. Anyway. So it benefits from Forest of Giant Plants, the Stadium card. And so pretty much if you have this full line out, you can just play it down right from your hand. And that's why I run a 4-4-4 line. And also on top of that, Servine has a pretty sweet ability called Serpentine Strangle. I don't really know why it's called Strangle. Seems kind of twisted for Pokemon. But basically what that does is you flip a coin, and if it's heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is paralyzed. So this is really cool because it's basically forcing your opponent to have a switching card. And on top of that, if you're able to get that Superior out, you can use Coil, which does 40. And then during your next turn, this Pokemon's attacks do 60 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. So for one energy, basically you'll be doing about 140 damage. And if they can't find that switching card, well, you're pretty much just going to be doing a lot of damage. And that a lot of times can just hit a lot of magic numbers. And that's what I love about this deck, is just there's so much variety and there's so many different ways you can go about it, playing it, and it's just awesome. And one of the things that I'm really trying to incorporate right now is I'm trying to put in 4 Talonflame or something like that. I originally, before the Miltank rotated from, I think it was the Powerful Friends from Flashfire, I had 4 of those, or 3 or 4 of those in here, because that was just a sweet attacker all together. But Superior is just a very fast stage 2 Pokemon and just a lot of fun to play around with. Yes, it will get absolutely obliterated by Volcanion most of the time, but still it's a lot of fun. Just being able to paralyze and hit your opponent for a ton of damage, that's just, I love it. I have so much fun playing this deck that it's absolutely insane. Alrighty, next up, this is where I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. So this is it for the Pokemon, just the 4-4-4 and the 2-2 Auxiliary. I'm trying to put some other stuff in. I'm trying to figure out what else I want to run in this deck. I was actually considering a Dedenne possibly for Evital matchups. That's something I can do because honestly, that matchup is very iffy. I mean, yes, Evital can one-shot your Superior, but you're only putting 1 energy on it most of the time, and so their damage is pretty limited, and if they, just completely load up 1 Evital, then you just have a really high chance of just knocking it out. And so I'm trying to experiment and figure out what I want to do exactly with this deck. And so I have the 2-2 Auxiliary in here. And the reason behind this, instead of running Shaman, obviously that would be the better option. I wanted to keep this a traditional 1 prize, deck altogether. And so I didn't want to run any EXs. I'm trying to have as much fun as possible. Yes, in a competitive list, you probably would like to run 2 Shaman or so. But for this list and just me having fun, I'm going to run a 2-2 Auxiliary. Now there is a list already on my channel. It was an older list, one I was first experimenting with, and as I'm going on now, there would be some changes I would make to that deck, but I think that it's a pretty good starting point. If you go back and take a look at that video, I might put it on the annotation I put an annotation at the end card here whenever you guys get done with this video. But next up we have 4 Professor Sycamore. Pretty standard draw card. Really, this is just in here. It's like your explosive supporter, just being able to just discard your hand and potentially get a Superior or 2 out. I've had turns where I'll have like a Superior and 2 Servine on the bench. That's obviously a really good setup if you get really lucky and hit the right cards. But this deck can do that. And there's most of the time where I'll want to paralyze my opponent. 3 in. Just another good draw card, and honestly, late in the game, you can end your opponent and just start dealing out a lot of damage, and most decks just can't answer that. 2 Lysander, this could be your best friend because, of course, Superior has a hard time one-shotting things, and so you can just bring stuff up off the bench that you potentially want to paralyze or something that you may have damaged already, and that's just pretty good there. One Karen. Karen is just really good because you can shuffle in like late game. You can shuffle in like all your superiors and just get those right back in your deck and keep that superior train going, which is one of the options I went with this deck, and that's why there were so few Pokemon in there. And so Karen's just a really cool card and something like a new addition, honestly, to this deck. I play one Skyla. Skyla, you just never know when you could hit a Force of Giant Plants, or you can hit like a level ball, or just anything like that, or just a switch or an escape rope. I hope you can't hear my stupid dog barking. But anyway, Skyla is just really good because it can fish out those cards that you might need in a certain situation. And you know, of course, always 4 VS Seeker. That's just how I roll. I don't feel right if I don't run 4 VS Seeker. And speaking of Force Giant Plants, of course, we need to run 4 of those bad boys. This is just going to make the deck go as fast as absolutely possible and give you a counter stadium. Also, 4 Ultra Ball along with 3 Level Ball. I'm still trying to figure out what ball count that I want to go, which, you know, each specific one. The Level Ball is just really good because it can search out Octillery, Servine, and Snivy. Ultra Ball grabbing Superior and just lowering my hand size if I want to grab an Octillery. And this is a really, really fun thing. This is one of the reasons why I absolutely love this deck. I actually play this card, and honestly, it helps out a lot in a lot of matchups. I played 3 Bursting Bloom. Now, you're probably thinking, why in the world are you playing this card? It's not Trevenant. What are you doing? Well, I just had this really stupid idea. I said I can either paralyze them and, you know, like do the 40, or I can just, you know, let them hit me for 60. I can soften them up, because if you coil, they hit you for 60, because honestly, you'd be surprised how hard it is to one-shot a Superior if you're not playing Fire. Played plenty of games with this against like a variety of decks. And really, you stupid dog? Anyway, and so just hitting for 60 just opens up a lot of options for knockouts later in the game, just with the coil in general, because a lot of EX Pokemon at 180 or 170 will be sitting at 100 damage, and then, you know, they'll go to 160, or you'll coil to hit you for 60, and then you can do your Slashing Strike. Yeah, Slashing Strike for 80 damage and knock them out. So it's just a lot of really funny things you can do with Bursting Balloon. And most of the times I've had, you know, my opponents retreat their Pokemon and just pass. So that's something really funny there. And I just feel like it's a stupid tool that actually makes this deck a lot more fun to play. And of course, we got to run 3 Trainer's Mail just so that way you can, you know, search out stuff. I did have 4, but I took one out for the Skyla because I wanted a more guaranteed route to grab the certain trainers and such that I needed. Excuse me, that I needed. 2 Super Rod. Super Rod is absolutely awesome here because not only can it get your superior lines back if you have like a Brutal Sycamore or something, but it can get your grass energies back. This deck is kind of geared towards getting superiors left and right over and over and over and over, just making your opponent have to deal with them non-stop. And so 2 Super Rod is just going to allow you to be able to keep cycling through your energy and keep your options open. And I actually had to run a couple of switching cards. I was actually considering possibly maybe a Floatstone being in here for Octillery or something like that, which is another reason why I upped this, like the switching card amount. People will Lysander up Octillery with this deck, and so that kind of leaves me like, you know, kind of screwed. And so I was kind of considering, you know, possibly running into like a Floatstone or just going about it a different way. I originally had AZ, I think, in this list before the rotation, and with that gone, obviously that is an issue. But like I said, this is just kind of like I'm experimenting and seeing what I like, seeing what makes me have more enjoyable games. And so 2 switching cards, not only will it get your Octillery out of the active spot, but it will allow you to bring up a Superior and do Slashing Strike again if you would really want to, which is pretty cool. And to finish off the deck, of course, we have 8 Grass Energy. 8 is the number that I feel comfortable with, just with the selection and account and everything. Now, I am trying to fit some stuff in here. I am trying to switch some stuff around and seeing what I like and seeing what routes that I want to go with this deck. But I really wanted to just kind of share this deck with you guys. Not the list, more so just the deck type in general, because I really, really love Superior. It is a lot of fun to play, and it's one of my favorite decks that I think has ever come out because of the matchups that I've won before. I've beaten Evital decks, I've beaten Scizor decks, I've actually beaten a Volcanion deck once with this. I have beaten Mega Mewtwo Garbodor, and just the amount of stupid things that I have beaten is just, it's insane, because this deck is just like, it can sneak up on you, honestly. You'd be surprised how much damage you can do with this deck and just what you can do with it all together. Just a 140 HP Pokemon that you can get out like that and can hit for a ton of damage. It's just a blast for me. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a fantastic day. And take care, guys. I love you. And this is Epic Pokemon TCG signing out. And feel free to let me know down in the comment section below what your favorite deck to play around with, whether it be a meta deck or it be a rogue deck, or just some kind of crazy idea that you came up with all on your own. But yeah, excuse me, god dang. Take care, guys. I love you, and I'm out. Peace.